From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I'm back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles. I hope you're feeling good, you're feeling great, and it is time to go over them plays and, what's going on in the world of sports as well, too. And up first, it's going to be none other than what happened last night on Monday Night Football. Eagles win Super Bowl matchup in an epic Monday Night Football game versus Chiefs at Arrowhead, winning 21-17. The Chiefs jumped out to a 17-7 lead and wound up losing the game 21-17. This team, for the third straight week, was unable to score a point in the second half, and they've had games where they scored 9, 21, and 17 over the last few weeks. And you know what? People were starting to kind of question these things a little bit, but you still have to remember the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, and they're just going through a bit of a phase, even though they are coming fresh off of a bye week and everything like that. But we do have a little bit of an issue in the wide receiver department. And you know what? There were some key drops last night in that game. But I'm also going to say that there was a key interception that was thrown in that game as well by Patrick Mahomes in the end zone, which is very unfamiliar of him as well, too. And, these little things could have helped out with the win for the Chiefs, but it doesn't matter. The Chiefs lost the game, okay? Let's just keep it real. They didn't do enough to win the game. And you know what? They made mistakes when they shouldn't have made mistakes. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. A lot of people are going to always sit here and defend Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and all that stuff. But really, none of these teams are perfect. And just yesterday, they went against a team that really felt like they knew exactly how to beat them. And you know what? It was unfinished business from the Super Bowl, okay? The Philadelphia Eagles were not able to finish that drive the way that they wanted to. They weren't able to get it home. But you know what? Last night they did. They shut them out 14-0 in the second half. They had a absolute epic throw to put them ahead in that game as well, too. Hurts to Smith. Devonta Smith wound up having 99 yards last night on 6 catches because you know what? Jalen just said, I'm going to throw the ball to the guy who's open, to the guy that has the one-on-one coverage. I'm not going to sit up in here and force things to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown can be mad all he wants to on the sideline, but Jalen Hurts pretty much showed last night that it's his rodeo, and you don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. But you know what? I know that's just competition. That was nothing to, really, get excited about if you're a fan. That's just guys on the sideline talking. And just because he's yelling doesn't mean that he's mad at Jalen Hurts. It's just he's talking pretty loud. That's all it is. And I'm just going to say this. No race puns intended, but black folks, we know how it is, man. Sometimes when we get a little high on the volume, it's because we're trying to explain ourselves, but make sure that the motherfucker's listening, okay? That's pretty much what it is, okay? That's why it's like that. But you see people on the internet, oh, he hates Jalen Hurts. Why would he hate somebody that he's 9-1 with, he's been to a Super Bowl with? It's absolutely stupid that you would even say something like that. But you know how it is. Nobody can rest without controversy. It is what it is. But last night, the Eagles showed the NFL world that they're a team that can prevail in any type of circumstance. They took on who supposedly is the best team in the NFL. They went down 10 points. They didn't even blink. They came out in the second half, and they ultimately dominated one of the best teams in football and one of the best teams of this decade as well, too. And they just pretty much went ahead and won the game. That's exactly what they did, and they proved that they are the best team in the NFL at this point. It's not the best team in the NFC, the best team in the NFL. They are that good, and they've literally have pretty much put themselves ahead of the rest of the pack in the conference to where it's like no doubt that the Eagles are the superior team in the NFC. But the road does get a little tougher as we keep moving forward here. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of games here for the Eagles that are going to really test their wills even more. But this team has proven that, you know what, we might not even played our best game yet, and we're still 9-1 this season. That's how good this thing is in Philly right now. And I know Philly fans are very, very excited about that as well, too. So we move forward. Good game by the Eagles last night. Great game in general. It was one of probably the best Monday Night Football game that we've had all season. But last week was a damn good game as well, too. So you know what? The games are just getting better because the matchups are getting that much more intense. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next, which is going to be the CFB game of the night, which is going to be in the Mac Daddy Make It Jump conference tonight, and we have the Bowling Green Eagles going against the Western Michigan Broncos. You know, I was about to say Mustangs, but their names are the Broncos. But all in all, you got a Bowling Green team coming fresh off of a really, really close loss last week. You know, I had them to win that game, and we just missed it. We just missed it last week, and so now you know they're sitting here with the two losses in conference play as we speak, and you know they're just trying to keep themselves right here in the mix of things. They're in third place, and they have an opportunity to put themselves 5-3, and just in case Ohio loses this weekend, they could be in second place, but they are going to miss out on the bowl game, you know, Bowling Green, but you know, they've showed some real moxie to them this season. Then you have this Western Michigan team that's actually the last place team in the West Division, but there's a three-way tie right now for third place and pretty much can be second place if, say, NIU loses sometime this week. But all in all, from what I'm seeing here is it looks like we're already set for the MAC championship, which is going to be between Toledo and Miami and Detroit in the next few weeks because nobody's going to catch up with these two teams. Possibly you have Ohio gets a one last ditch effort, but from what I'm seeing here, let me see about where Ohio is actually at. Ohio lost to Miami of Ohio, so they're not going to be a part of the mix. They've already lost their tiebreaker. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But when it comes down to this game is more about jousting and posturing. And this is more about a team in Bowling Green that wants to really lock down the bowl game. You know what I mean? Because I don't think they guarantee bowls to 6-6 teams anymore. I know they don't guarantee it for sure for teams that are 5-7. It used to be if you went 5-7, you can get in, but that doesn't work anymore. Pretty much you have to have a winning record or you're not in. And I would think that if you go 7-5, they're going to put you in a better bowl game if you're Bowling Green. So tonight, I really do like Bowling Green to go ahead and win this game tonight. I don't think they should have any issues, but I'm just going to take the money line to be on the safe side here. So there it is. There it is. That's going to be our CFB game of the night, and it should be a doozy. It should be a good one. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. All right, the Maui Invitational semis. We had some great games last night in the Maui Invitational. We had some really, really good matchups. You know, UCLA took their game all the way down to the final seconds. Could have beat Marquette last night, but they fell short. You know, you had a good effort from Syracuse, but Syracuse is not the same team that we've known in the past. So, you know, that's something that, you know, you got to kind of put into fruition. Gonzaga, really not going to be the same again this year. Gonzaga, I'm going to keep it real with you. They're going to have troubles winning their conference this year, too. I think that the Gonzaga love affair and the Gonzaga, you know, fear factor has kind of wore off a little bit. They don't have those players that can really say that they're going to be able to really, you know, be able to be on the same footing as these power schools this year. I'm sorry, it's just no. But with the pretty much end of the Pac-12, the West Coast Conference will become a bigger conference overall next year. You know what I mean? You'll be bringing in more West Coast recruits that get left by the wayside, and you'll probably get more tournament bids as well too, since you don't have the official Western Conference anymore. So they'll probably inherit them in the Mountain West, and they'll probably have them split it up. They'll probably guarantee six in total, and they can now get at least three in there. You know, before it was always a one and done situation. St. Mary's has gotten really good over the years, so they've been able to work their way into the tournament as well too. And then you also see teams like San Francisco, Loyola Marymount, Pepperdine. They're trying to get themselves back into the mix as well too. But I know that they'll probably just let them add one more team in, and that's it. But that's next year, not this year. But all in all, let's go ahead and look at our first matchup, which is going to be between Purdue and Tennessee. Purdue's coming into this game 4-0. Tennessee's 4-0. Tennessee had themselves a little bit of a scare yesterday, but then they got everything together and were able to win that game. Purdue, on the other hand, they did have to go ahead and really dig in deep and beat Gonzaga yesterday. Wound up beating them by 10 points. That was pretty good. Edie's looking to repeat as the National Player of the Year this year. Tennessee's trying to put themselves back in the mix as one of the top 5 teams in the nation, but they got to be consistent about that as well too, because they are playing in a very tough SEC that is stacked up this year. You have Kentucky, who probably has one of their better teams in the last decade. You also have a really, really good Alabama team coming back as well too, well coached. And Florida is back on the scene as well too. Auburn's always going to loom the danger, the Brucey Pearl boys. And LSU always has some NBA type players. You know what I mean? They might not be going to the NBA, but they always have some guys that have some NBA skills there as well too. So, there's just a lot to really dig into when it comes to the SEC. But when it really comes down to this game right here, I got Tennessee keeping this game very close. I don't know if they win the game, but this game is going to be one of our closer games of the night in college basketball. So I do like the plus 3.5 tonight on Tennessee. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves our next game coming up, which is going to be the Kansas and Marquette game. Kansas and Marquette. This one is going to be a real good one. We have both these teams sitting here ready to really take on the world. This is you got to love it. Everybody's here but the third seeded team, man. You got to love the fact that you got 1-4 and you got 7-2. And then you also had last night UCLA, who's on the cusp of being ranked. They should have been ranked, but they weren't ranked. So, pretty much. But when you look at it, by the end of the year, they'll be a top 15 team. That team looked excellent last night. You had some really good you have it to where a lot of these teams know that, moving forward for their futures, that they're going to be pretty good this season. And this tournament's going to be very good for them moving forward. Kansas, to me, number 1 team in the nation, very tough to even deal with. Their team is very I don't know, man. Their team is just absolutely just a gem of a squad. And they're a year or two removed from that national championship as well too. Didn't have Billy Self in the tournament last year. That was kind of a issue for this team, and that's what kind of was the reason why they did get put out in the opening weekend. But all in all, though, Kansas's team is way better this year. That Kansas team last year had a lot of guys in the group that were very suspect. They were very I don't know about this guy. This guy can't be trusted. This guy is a little bit thinking too hard about the NBA right now. Now they got a group that has been humbled, and they'll play much better. And they know that they have to really, really still be laser focused as they move towards Big 12 play. They can't slack a minute, because once they get into Big 12 play, things get really, really difficult. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how it shakes out. But this looks like it's going to be a great game. It looks like it's going to be a great atmosphere for this game tonight as well too. It's going to be the nightcap as well too for the tournament. And you know what? The winner goes to the championship for tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun. And you know what they're really banking on? You know what they want. You know what they want. They want Kansas versus Purdue tomorrow. They want number 1 versus number 2, this would make this the greatest Maui Invitational of all time. If they were able to get the number 1 and 2 teams in the nation to play each other this early in the season, it is a box office matchup and would be must-see TV. So with that, we move forward and let's go ahead and take our first commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to jump into our NBA talk, and we have State of the Lakers, and we have 4 different playing tournament games to talk about tonight as well too. So you stay tuned and I'll be right back to you. And this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. So here we are in our second act of the show today, and let's go ahead and jump into the state of the Lakers. And the Lakers have themselves a game tonight with the Utah Jazz. So we'll go ahead and just preview the game tonight. The Lakers, as I said, I was happy with the effort on Sunday, but you know what? That was Sunday. Today is today. And you know what? They can't slack a minute because this Utah team does have upset on their mind. This is a tournament game. This is not a regular season game. So this game does have a lot more ramifications to it. The Lakers come in as a 7.5-point favorite. It's over under a 238 tonight, but it's jumped down to 237.5 because, as the spread gets bigger and bigger, people want to play the under because the under always seems like it's going to be something that can work out for you. Now, you have a Jazz team that's lost their last 3 out of 5 here. And for the month of November, they are sitting here with a 3-6 record, while the Lakers, on the other hand, in the month of November, find themselves with a 5-4 record at this point. So, 6-4 actually. I'm sorry, but the Lakers are 6-4 at this time, and you have a team that's 3-6. So pretty much that's how the month is going for these squads. But the Jazz, they just really have had a bad little run here in the last few weeks. They lost 4 in a row, then they lost 2 in a row, then they lost 2 in a row. So that's been pretty much their last 8 games. So they've been just really going through it right now. And I think that pretty much tonight, the Lakers might probably go ahead and overlook the situation just a tad bit. So I don't want to trust anything when it comes to picking any sides here, but I would say that the best bet in this game probably tonight will be the under. And that's what I'm going to play on the super high 5 as well too. Now, the Lakers do need to figure out who's going to be the main rebounder tonight. I really do want to see the Lakers figure out who can get more rebounds than both AD and LeBron. You know what I mean? And I think that they truly do need to say to themselves, it's one or the other with Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood. The Lakers need a little bit more on the wing support right now than they do with the big man. I don't feel like the Lakers big man situation is really something that, pretty much has been improved upon because you really don't have guys being assertive enough on getting rebounds. Castleton is a guy that I thought was going to be okay. I'm gonna figure out how to get on the court, and that means go rebound. When he went out there on the court, he was absolutely lost. So, there's just a lot of things with the Lakers that, you know, that you want them to improve on. They're not a finished product yet. They're nowhere near a championship team. They're nowhere near a fourth seed or a fifth seed team. They're right exactly where they're supposed to be as a sixth seed right now. But I truly do think that the Lakers can go ahead and get better. They can improve. They can upgrade from that spot as well too, and find themselves back in position. But this is a lot better than last year's start when they went 2-11 to start the season or something of that nature. They were really bad to start the year. The Lakers now through the first 14 games, much better. They've actually won about 5 more games than they did last year. So that's a lot better to look at. It truly is. You know what I mean? And this team, they can be middling some days, they can be mediocre some days, and then they can be stellar some days. This Laker team is really moody. You don't know which one's showing up, but I think that once they figure out who their main rotation is, this team will be in good shape. I think Rue's coming along very well. Reeves is playing much better off the bench right now. D'Angelo Russell had a kind of an off night the other night, but he's still a pretty good player as well. That he's been very good. When he scores, the Lakers don't lose. It's just that simple. And you know what? AD getting his double doubles, that's all the Lakers truly need. They don't need him to do it 30-10 every night, but getting his 15-10, 15-11, 20-11, 20-12, these are all really good numbers for him moving forward, and it keeps the Lakers confident in what they can do defensively and offensively as well too. And King James, LeBron, has been playing absolutely out of his damn mind lately. 37 points the other night. Then I think Friday night he hit him for 35. LeBron's just playing on another atmosphere right now. You can't be doing this at age 38 going on 39, but it's LeBron. LeBron is really going ahead and going against science right now. But I think that what he's doing is he's trying to put in the most effort he can to show that he is in the mood to win another championship. He's not here just to be a spokesperson for the NBA. He's here to win basketball games. If he wasn't here to win basketball games, he would already be retired. The Lakers and LeBron all need to just really pretty much go ahead and figure out how they can get LeBron a little bit less playing time, so then they can conserve this guy for the actual important part of the season. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our NBA Tuesday night. We got a bunch of games here to talk about, and we have the NBA Tuesday night. We got 5 games on the slate, but 4 for playing tournaments. We already talked about the Lakers, 3 Eastern Conference games, and then we have 1 other Western Conference game tonight. But we only got 5 games on the slate tonight, so that lands right into the NBA Super High 5. So up first, let's talk about this game right here, which is going to be the Raptors, who are coming in at 6-7, going against the Magic, who are coming in here at 8-5. You have a -1.5 to the Magic tonight as well too, and also you have yourself a 15.5 point spread. So let's see where we're going with this one. We got a Raptors team that's trying to get themselves, just keep themselves winning and not, have to worry about the world bothering them and who they going to trade for and who they trade and when they getting rid of Siakam and all this stuff. Who cares? This team is playing good basketball right now. They've won 5 out of 9 games here after starting the season 1-3. So they've played much better basketball since, going 5-4 in that stretch. So that's really good to look at. And this is a very winnable game for this team that should be very confident after beating Detroit by 39 points on Sunday. And so pretty much they have this 2-game back-to-back situation where you got Orlando tonight for the play-in tournament game, and then you got Indiana tomorrow. They're both going to be pretty early games for my side of the country, but, pretty much you look at it and you say to yourself, these are going to be some tough games for them, but which one do they take more into account? It will probably be tonight. You have a team that is being led in scoring by Scotty Barnes, who's playing absolutely tremendous right now. He's averaging 20 points with almost 9 rebounds a game and 6 assists. This is very good work. That guy should be in the All-Star game this year. You have a Magic team that's coming in here playing good. They've won their last 3 in a row, and they've actually won their last 4 out of 5. And they're 6-3 on the month. This team did start off 2-2 on the year, so it's a much improved team. But you knew that coming in, and you knew that they had a great opportunity to possibly win their division as well too. And so in this game tonight, I really do feel like Orlando cuts it on. They put themselves in position to win early, and then they take care of this game late in the fourth quarter. I got the -2 on the Magic tonight. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have our next game coming up, which is going to be this. It's going to be the Pacers and the Hawks. The Pacers come in 7-5. The Hawks are 6-6. We have a -3.5 record, over under a -3.5 on the spread. And then we have an over under a 251.5. So when you look at this game tonight, you have a team in the Pacers that are looking to pretty much get themselves all the way into the right position to be one of the better teams. They believe in themselves. They believe in Tyler Halliburton. They believe in Miles Turner as well too. They feel like Buddy Hield can be an asset to them as well. That's why they haven't traded him. There's just a lot of things going on for the Pacers that make them feel like they're going in the right direction, and they don't need to have a big, superstar laden team or a big star laden team for them to win games. And that's an absolute beautiful thing to see when you see a team that doesn't have to rely on stars to be winners. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And you know what? Rick Carlisle is going to get these guys right where he wants them at. He's going to get them right where he needs them to be. And that's what I can see. That's what I've been seeing all year long with this team. So there should be some good things moving forward for this Pacers unit. Now, you got this Hawks team. They're scoring a lot of points. They're giving up a lot of points. Trae Young it seems to be back in his bag. Very comfortable with his new coach, Quinn Snyder, as well, too. That's something really good to look at as well. And you know what? Pretty much this winds up being a very, very good game. Now, you do have a Pacers team that's won their last 3 out of 5. You have a Hawks team that's lost their last 3 out of 5. You have a Pacers team that's playing great basketball this month. They're 5-4 this month. And then you have a Hawks team right now that is 4-4 on the month. So you have a very kind of even game. It's a really, really tough to pick a winner here. But I truly do feel like what happens in this game tonight is this. You got to go ahead and take the Pacers as your dog bet here, because I feel like the Pacers are playing stronger basketball at this moment. I already said they've won their last 3 out of 5 as well too. So that's something that you can go ahead and, back in this situation. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and take the +140 on the Pacers. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the Cavs and the 76ers for our next game. The Cavs and 76ers are both going through the motions a little bit, even though you got the 76ers who are dominating the Eastern Conference, and you have the Cleveland Cavaliers who finally put themselves back in a winning record situation with winning their last, I think, 3 in a row or so. So pretty much they're playing better basketball. The Philadelphia 76ers kind of picked up where they left off at, but they're trying to be the best team in the Eastern Conference this year. So they can have that home court advantage. So they can have those looks and all that good stuff that you need to move forward and have a dominant season. Joel Embiid's whole goal this year is to win a championship. And you know what? He has players around him that can be great team players for that to happen. It was great that he was able to get rid of the extra stars, because the only star they need in Philadelphia is Joel Embiid, and everybody else plays uber roles. That's it. And I think that works for the Philadelphia 76ers. Trying to put Ben Simmons and James Harden all out there together. It just wasn't never going to work. And now it can work, because you have the focus of Embiid, who has the city behind him and is ready to do great things. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But I truly do feel like what happens in this game tonight, this game turns into more of a game that you look at and you say, okay, the Cavs been playing good basketball, really, really good basketball. And so you want to ride that hot hand. They've won 3 in a row. They won their last 4 out of 5. They actually are 6-3 this month as well, too. So these are the things that you say to yourself, I can trust them tonight. Philly's been playing great, but the Cavaliers have caught some momentum. So I do like them tonight with the plus 7.5. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. We have ourselves the final game that I have on the docket here for us, and that's going to be the Blazers and the Suns. The Blazers 3-10, the Suns 7-6, and it looks like that the Suns have kind of picked it up a little bit. The Suns did struggle, but we know why, because they didn't have their whole unit here, but they've won their last 3 in a row after dropping their first 4 out of 6 games this month. And now their record for the month is actually 5-4. So these last 3 in a row were pretty good for them. Even though they beat Utah in back-to-back situations on the road, it's a good situation for them because they bounced back pretty well. And then they got a good 18-point win over Minnesota at home last time out. And you know what? They got cooked by Oklahoma City, but that's because they were shorthanded that night. Same thing goes with the Laker game. Very shorthanded that night. But all in all, they've kept a lot of these games this month close. But when they win, they've won in fanatic fashion as well, too. But they did have some tough times with Utah in both of those games, Friday and Sunday. So that's kind of a relief not to see them. And then they got back-to-back home games here, one with Portland, one with Golden State, and then they finish up on a 3-game road tour at the end of the month, playing against Memphis, New York, and Toronto. So when I look at this game tonight, I say to myself, let's go ahead and play the over. I feel like Phoenix is going to be scoring points tonight. They're going to be putting points on the board. There's going to be a lot of fouls being called in this game tonight because, Portland doesn't play great defense either. So pretty much tonight, this is going to be a fun one because you got guys that play for both sides. So you know that they're going to be calling this a revenge game as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But with that, we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break. And when I get back, it's time to talk those tickets. So stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Captain.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right. Time for us to go ahead and talk those tickets. So y'all know this is your favorite portion of the show, my favorite portion of the show, because we get down to the nitty gritty, dog. And up first, we have ourselves we have this up first, which is going to be the CBB PrimeTime PK6, 60-1. We have Army plus 170. We have Boston U plus 14.5 tonight. We got Campbell minus 170. We got the Dukes with the minus 25.5 tonight. Then, as I said before, at the top of the show, Tennessee plus 3.5, Kansas minus 4.5. If you want to go ahead and just two for those bad boys into a parlay, that'll get you 6-1 on that bad boy. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's going to be the play right there, being the Tennessee Volunteers and the Kansas Jayhawks in the Maui Invitational semifinal. So let's go ahead and get into our next ticket group, and that's going to be the Bowling Green and Western Michigan bets. And this is going to wind up being Bowling Green minus 135. Also taking under 26 first half. And then I'm going to take a half a point on Bowling Green plus 20 with the first quarter. And then we have Western Michigan with the under 26.5 team total. Then we have the Eastern Michigan Buffalo game. I'm going to go ahead and take Eastern Michigan with the plus 5. Then also we're going to take the plus 3 with Eastern Michigan as well too with the first half. And then the over 7.5 plus 100 first quarter. So the plus 3 EMU plus 130 alternate line as well too. So that's going to be our bets today for the college football games. And then we wrap it up with the 32-1 super high 5. We got the Magic minus 2 at home. We got the Cavs plus 7.5 on the road. We got our dog of the day in the Pacers money line plus 140. Then we have the over 224 with the Blazers and the Suns. And then we wrap it up with the under 238.5 with the Jazz and the Lakers. And this is going to be a 32-1 ticket. And that is going to be a wrap on Talking Tickets and a wrap on the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but